Guys, the Winter Championships are coming up at Dallas, Texas on March 15th. That's what these players are playing for. They're going to be there, or you. Of course, at least one of them is going to be. Get your pass now online and save $15 versus if you buy at the door, it's $50. Please take advantage of that if you intend on going to the best esports event in the history of ever, because it's going to be fantastic. League of Legends is going to be there, Call of Duty, and of course, StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm. We're trying to find out who's going to be in that tournament right now. This best of 5 between Vibe and Illusion, where Vibe is currently up 2-1. Let's go ahead and get into game number 4. It's going to be on Whirlwind in the bottom right-hand location. We have the Red Zerg player who's currently up 2-1. He is 1 win away from qualifying for the Dallas event. Can he make it happen? Representing Team Root Gaming, he is Dan Vibe Sherlong. I just love saying his name. In the bottom left-hand location, we have the blue Terran player from Team Mouse Esports. He is currently down 2-1, has some work to do. Must win 2 in a row, but definitely capable, considered one of the best North American Terrans. He is Illusion. Chris Lee. 2 very handsome individuals.
Illusion going back to the build that won him that first game, man.
Command Center first.
Command Center first, all day, every day. That's a TVZ motto, man. It's a very strong opening.
Oh yeah, he's gonna build on his second.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is he doing?
So there's always the choice, you know. There's a small chance Vibe would do something like an early pool, knowing that Whirlwind is a map that almost every turn does Command Center first on, and if you go Command Center first on a low ground, early pool can be tricky to defend. It's still possible, but it's very, very hard. Command Center first on a high ground, if they go early pool, you basically get a free win, because all you gotta do is just repair your buildings, and you're so far ahead economically.
Yeah.
So you know, a little bit of an intelligent play by Illusion. The amount you lose by winning Command Center high ground is very small. Right, the time it takes to move it is like half of an SCV build time, or at worst 1 SCV build time. So it's not at all a huge deal, and the safety margin is considerable. Vibe, early gas.
He's tired of the Reapers, man.
This is the first time in this series we've seen Vibe get the gas that fast. It could be tired of Reapers, or I mean, I feel like he's actually done pretty good against the Reapers with his queens. Like the last game, he produced so many drones. Sure, he lost like 4, but I think the opening put him maybe slightly ahead economically. The question coming here is it going to be speed, saying I'm tired of Reapers, or is it going to be some mass roach play really early on? I mean, he's up 2-1. He hasn't done anything aggressive early yet. It's got to catch Illusion out. Oh, Burrow! Ooh. I love it. We saw someone do this before. It was on the Korean Zergs. And they won the game.
DRG.
DRG,
against Jock G?
Yes, and he won the
Daybreak, game 2.
Such a scary opener. Yeah.
And he actually like messed up a little bit because he started Burrow, but then he canceled it.
Yes.
Then he started it a little bit later.
And it was still, but as soon as Burrow kicks in, early game, if they don't have scans, even if they do, the regen rate is so high. I mean, it's 5 life a second, but that's actually pretty high if you're thinking about the small number of units that are into battle, the ability to save a roach and keep going on. I love this choice of build by Vibe, especially on this map. And especially given the fact in the first 3 games, he's done nothing but macro for the first 10 minutes.
Illusion's going to scout Vibe last. Let's see what he can discover here. There is a queen there guarding the ramp.
It's got to deny it.
If Illusion can get into the main base,
caught him in an inject. Inject timing.
Okay, the other queen needs to come forward and deal with that.
Other queen's got to do it. Where's the other queen? There is no other queen because he's he saved all his money for roaches.
Oh, get the SCV. No, he sees the gas, and Illusion knows something's up.
Yep.
He didn't see the roach one though.
Well, I mean,
as
soon as he saw there was a second queen, that should be a given.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The only reason a Zerg player would delay that second queen is because they've been spending money on the Burrow, the Roach Horn, and the gas.
The timing.
So now look at this, all the bunkers.
You have to have an Overlord over here, right? Like so you can see when that SCV's come in. So
yeah. If he just didn't do that inject, the queen could have easily kept that SCV, but. You know, when he hit those injects perfectly, and the timing was so unfortunate there for Vibe. I mean, everything went horribly from there. He still might get something done. If you look at Illusion's command centers, they're not even close to having a scan up. So, I mean, there's the bunker is basically going to make it so he has to come up there, maybe work on the right side and try to pick off, maybe he can kill a neutral depot or something and try to run up that way.
Yeah.
It's such a tough thing to break, though.
All right. Vibe is going to try to get some damage done here. Burrow is now done, so he's going to be burrowing his weakened roaches. But again, 2 bunkers here from Illusion.
The damage output is so high with that many Marines. Yeah, I mean, he's not losing any roaches, but he's not getting any damage done. Finally going to kill that neutral depot. Maybe he can try to run up there. I mean, now there's a Marauder out. Oh,
Turret.
and the turret's being built. He's got Umbro and run away. Yep, exactly. You can't get anything done.
Let's consider how much he invested into this versus his opponent. I mean, again, Illusion went for pretty much the most economic build possible with that very early orbital command. Meanwhile, Vibe sacrificing a lot of drone production and a lot of mineral income based on the fact that he got that gas early, was attributing a lot of drones to that gas early, and of course sacrificing the drones to get these roaches out, and he's not able to get much damage done at all.
Yeah, actually, he didn't kill a single thing. The only thing he killed was a neutral depot. And Illusion, of course, doesn't really care about the neutral depot, just replaces it with his own depot. So, I mean, this is just not... Yeah, the only loss for Illusion is that Skyness CV. And that Skyness CV paid for itself in spades. Man, this is such a cool opening, but, I mean, 2 bunkers with that many Marines.
No, yeah.
You've got to hide the opening. You've got to do it. And Vibe just couldn't quite get that done. He's not dead yet. All right, he's got a 3rd base on the way.
He has some catching up to do, for sure.
Yeah, he's got catching up to do, but he's not dead yet. He's going to play that Roach Hydra combination that he was playing in Game 1 and 2. I do like doing that. I think going for Swarm Host is an amazing option, but if you're significantly behind and you try to invest in that, before you can get them off the ground, you might get hit by timing. They're much better offensively than defensively because your opponent can work around Locust if they don't mind giving up ground. So I really like going to Roach Hydra here. It's still going to be so hard for him to stop, though. I mean, there's siege tanks out, there's medevac drops. And economically speaking, Illusion is significantly ahead of Vibe. I mean, let's take a look at the worker tab over here. I mean, yeah, it's basically dead even workers. We're talking about Terran who has mules.
Yeah, 3rd orbital as well, or 3rd command center is going to be starting right now. And I think Vibe's going to have a little bit of trouble holding this push off here from Illusion. Of course, you know, he can hold it off, but then imagine the investment into the units, you know, to actually hold it off. That's not additional drones. His 3rd might even be very vulnerable here. I
feel this push is a mistake, though. I mean, I think it's Illusion is going to be hard. Vibe's going to be hard pressed to hold up, but if he waited for a few more tanks and a bigger force, there'd be nothing Vibe could do to stop it. A small force like this, it's possible for the Roach Hydra to actually squish it if he gets enough. The question is, can he get enough before he's the 3rd? He's going to go for it.
Sieging up. Hydras and Roaches coming forward here from Vibe, and Illusion taking advantage of the fact that they're all clumped together. Vibe finally going to peel some away to deal with this, but Illusion getting some good trades here, taking down every single Roach and Hydra, and he can just lift off these units. Keep that in mind, and even ignite the afterburners with the strength of the main if he wants.
Yeah, he can. I mean, Vibe, I think it would have cleaned up a little bit easier, but unfortunately, his Hydras roll in the front. The Roaches couldn't get in there to attack. The Hydras died fast, and of course, they're the DPS. And Illusion's going to extend his lead there. A great trade. He might even get it. No, he won't knock out the Satch, I don't think. Yeah, there's enough Roaches here.
Oh, Marine left behind.
Poor Marine. The
like,
Marauder shoved him out the door. He's like about to like jump up the ladder. The Marauder just like grabs him by the back, throws him on the ground.
Yeah, poor guy. Of course, there's also a drop in the natural expansion. Illusion is everywhere. Vibe retreating his Roaches to deal with that, but that means his 3rd is going to be a little bit exposed, and both medevacs going to pick up, going to the main, actually faking going into the main, and then going back to the 3rd. Oh gosh. What a headache.
I mean, yeah, Illusion's just hitting multiple locations here. It looks like Vibe's going to finally clean up both locations, sending Roaches in a couple different directions. But behind this, right, Illusion's been... This is just like pieces of his 1st army. He's got a 2nd army rolling out of his base as we speak.
He's up 123 to 91 in supply. Going to be securing that 3rd orbital command at that 3rd base. And again, Vibe has been making nothing but units at this point in time. So his Harvesters, it's not going to be where he'd like it to be. His tech isn't going to be where he'd necessarily like it to be. Illusion just trying to constrict his opponent as much as possible, and it's working. Vibe might go for a counterattack here, though, or at least cut off reinforcements.
Yeah, Vibe's got to find a way to crush Terran armies strong enough that he buys himself time to drone up. But Illusion's not giving him that time. Illusion's pressing in here, killing some creep timbers. Vibe's going to be... It's going to take everything he has to try to hold this attack at the front.
He's going to try to flank with 2 Roaches there. Going to be distracting the Hydras, distracting the tanks with those Roaches. The Hydra's coming forward, though, but Illusion still has way too much. Up 139 to 84 in supply. Not even to mention the second... these 2 medevacs and units that are coming forward to reinforce. He's securing a 3rd base behind this Vibe, scrambling to get more and more Roaches and Hydras on the field, but it's going to be so hard to attack just this push.
Yeah, I mean, he can't beat the force in his 3rd. He can't beat the force in his natural. That'll put him down to 1 base, and, you know, 1 base Zerg versus 3 base Terran is weak enough. I think Vibe, we're going to see him concede in just a moment's time. The 3rd hatchery has gone down. The Roaches are being decimated at the natural. A little bit of a flank here, but it's not going to be enough, as it's almost a reverse flank. More units coming in from Illusion. Vibe GG's.
GG there from Vibe, and that's a game that kind of snowballed out of control there for Vibe. Of course, it started with the opening. It started with something as simple as a queen injecting at probably the worst time
Literally
possible.
Wow, what are the... I mean, you're doing an inject once every 40 to 45 seconds, somewhere in that range. And what are the odds? It's literally the exact second. Like, the SCV's walking into Queen, like, turns around to inject, and SCV just walks around behind the Queen. It's like one of those spy movies where, like, a guy throws a little can and the guard looks, and then he walks behind the guy's back.
To distract, yeah.
But, I mean, they didn't even have to. The Queen distracted herself. She was busy dealing with her eggs, and...
I mean, if the Overlord, if there had been Overlord, just like,
oh yeah, you would have seen SCV coming.
And with a build like that, again, you're investing so much to the early game. Once it's scouted, it's like it's not going to work. If your turn opponent, of course, reacts appropriately, that's a build that relies on denying the scouting from your opponent. And then from there, of course, you spent so much on this build, and if your opponent completely shuts it down, Illusion didn't lose anything when that happened. So. From there, it's very hard to come back as a Zerg player. So, guys, that's going to do it for game number 4. Series is tied 2-2, which means we're going to have a final game to determine who will advance to the Winter Championship event in Dallas, Texas. Guys, stay tuned. Game 5 between Vibe and Illusion coming up.